I am Congresswoman Jennifer McClellan from Richmond, Virginia.
Nice to meet you. I'm
Meet you.
Faye Konevsky. I am an actor, comedian, and a content creator, and I'm based in Los Angeles. How do you leverage your power, what power you do have, to fight for your constituents in this current administration?
So I think it's important to know that we have a platform as members of Congress that we can very clearly talk to the public about what's happening here in Washington and how they can get involved. So for me, I'm on the Energy and Commerce Committee that deals with everything healthcare related, and I'm making sure people know that Republicans passed a budget plan that tells us find $880 billion in cuts, and they can't do that without cutting Medicaid. So I'm making sure anybody who uses Medicaid for their health care insurance, who goes to a hospital that takes Medicaid, especially if you live in rural areas, any cuts to Medicaid is going to impact you. And if you want Congress to keep their hands off your health care, you've got to call them. And I tell people how to reach out and make their voice heard.
Thank you so much for saying all of that, and thank you so much for fighting for us. I'm a disabled person. I am first generation, and I live with my grandma, and I'm very connected to that cause, and I genuinely appreciate that so much. How can your constituents help you fight for us?
I think the easiest way that you can help us is by telling us your story. Tell us how what the federal government does impacts you. So if you have Medicaid as your health insurance, then tell us, if I lose my health care, here's what happens to me. I think a lot of times we don't see a face or a name connected with actions we take here, and you telling us your story about how cuts would impact you helps us do our job, because then we take those stories and we tell them in committee or on the floor. And so the other way is just calling your member of Congress to say, I want you to do this, or I don't want you to do this. And we get those calls, we see how many we get, and it makes a difference.
That's really good to hear, because I'm calling my Congress people, I'm emailing my representatives, and I'm always telling my followers who are on my platforms. I'm encouraging fellow creators to do the same, and that's really good to hear that we're being heard, and I appreciate you for listening to us.
Absolutely. I would just say, you always hear that we're a government by, of, and for the people. That means government is only going to listen to the perspective of, and therefore meet the needs of the people who participate. And you can do that not just by voting, but making your voice heard with your member of Congress.